Hello, my friends. It is me, Karen Valentine. And today we're going to get started on the biggest piece that I have done to date. And I completely spaced actually measuring it. So let's actually see how big it is. That's 12. So working space about 15 by 11 by 15 looks like actual working space. I did tape off an area, and it's actually just taped onto the board. It's not taped onto my my mat board, my working board, because I want to be able to move it around if I need to. But I have this thing about clean lines. So for me to just mark off kind of where the picture would go would drive me crazy, because the Panpastel will get over the line and that'll make me nuts. So it's taped off. The mat will come a little bit further over onto where I have it taped. But anyway, so that's why you see blue tape on it. And it is this darling Red Panda. So I have to kind of try and figure out what I'm going to do now that I'm actually like here and recording, because I'm afraid, partially because I can't print the photo in the actual size that I'm going to be working. So I am going to use my iPad, and I'm going to show you what I do to get the iPad picture to fit, to be sized to the same size that I'm working. So I have already transferred the image, and for that I actually used an app called DaVinci, and it cuts down the time spent getting my drawing onto the paper in like by hours. I think it's really, really great. I use my iPhone for it. It hovers the image over my my piece of paper, and it lets me sketch out all the important parts. So so that I make sure that the placement of the nose is right, that the eyes are right. But you can see, I think you can see, it's really quite a rough sketch. And I use the majority of my reference that I use is going to be from the photo itself, and not from the sketch. So let me just show you really quick before I start pulling other things out how I am going to work with the iPad. I can't think of any other way to do it. Unfortunately, I don't know how, or I don't have the software to put the photo up in the little corner of the screen that you see. So my suggestion would be to go ahead and go over to Pixabay, which is where I got this photo, download the photo, and then you can have that photo, whether it be on your phone or on a pad or whatever, so that if you wanted to see the photo while I'm working, you could do it that way using a different device. So that's the only way that I can think of to make this work. So that's just going to have to be the way it is. But what I will do now that the image is transferred onto my dark gray Pastelmat is I will take my proportional divider, and I will check the size that I have of the nose. And then I will, let's see what I can do here. Then I will come over here to my pad, and I will blow up this image until the size of the nose is the size that I have. And then I'll do another little double check on like the eye. Yeah, so there to the corner of the eye. And that looks pretty good. Let's double check. Let's do the distance of the width of the tongue. So it looks like I need to go a little bit bigger. So width of the tongue. Now let's double check the nose. So that looks right. Okay, so now I've blown that image up onto my iPad, the size that that I need it to be. And now I'm just going to take some screenshots. And I'm going to do that. Whoops, wrong. And then we'll come down here. We'll do one over here. That's probably enough. And then just because, well, I probably don't need to, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, so now I have a full-size screen picture of what I'm doing. And so I will set this next to me and use this as my reference. And there you go. So that's how I do that when I'm working from my iPad as opposed to a printed photo. Okay, so I am going to, oh, there's one other thing that I want to show you, which I thought was really, really interesting. So you guys, if you follow my channel at all, you know that I'm a little bit of a swatch freak. I like to, I actually enjoy swatching my, my pencils. So I had all of my pencils swatched out, and to start with, when I first got my pastel pencils, I decided that I didn't want to use expensive Pastelmat to do the swatching because, I mean, let's face it, it's expensive, and I have probably 5 8.5 by 11 size swatch charts for my pastel pencils. So I went and bought some of the Canson, I don't even know how to pronounce that, PITT, I don't know. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about. So traditional pastel paper that you can get. Strathmore makes a pastel paper. Canson makes a pastel paper. In fact, when I swatched these the first time, I used the Strathmore pastel paper in white, I think. And then I decided, I know, I'm a little crazy. Then I decided to swatch them again on a mid-tone, which is closer to the color that I typically would use for my pastels. And so I went and thought, all right, well, I hear, you know, Canson, maybe the Canson meat tint paper is going to be great to do this with. So I went and bought a sheet at the craft store. And this is what the swatches look like on pastel paper. And I tried really hard. I mean, I came in and I filled in the color and I blended it, but you can see that it just wipes right off of this traditional pastel paper. And you can see the texture of the paper underneath the swatch, and the swatches are quite translucent. So here is an example of the blues that were swatched onto that Canson paper. Now I'm going to show you, because I finally broke down and said, you know what? If this is going to be something that a tool that I'm going to be using all the time, I am going to invest in my tool, and I'm going to use the Pastelmat. So this is tan Pastelmat. It's not the dark gray, but it's still kind of a mid-tone paper. So I want you to see the difference. I mean, pay no attention to the background color, but really pay attention to the way that the color looks on. I'm going to see if I can zoom in a little bit here so you guys can see better. So this is an example of the difference between Pastelmat and these inexpensive pastel papers. Here's the same color. One is covered very, very well. When I rub it, even though, yeah, I still get pastel on my finger, it doesn't rub off like it does on this paper. And there's no texture. It fills this was like one layer of pencil blended is all that is. So the reason I'm showing you this, the whole purpose of this is to kind of show you the difference between the final result that you will get depending on the paper that you're going to use. Now, there are some artists out there who do fantastic work on regular pastel paper. It's not my preference because I don't like seeing the texture of the paper underneath. I just want to see the rich blended colors. So that's why I use Pastelmat. I just wanted to give you that little comparison so you could kind of see what that difference is and why, to me, it's worth the investment in the paper, especially if you're going to be doing, you know, artwork that you're going to be hanging on the wall or something like that. So I've already dirtied up my Pastelmat. Okay, so I'm going to go. I'm going to get out my Panpastels, because we're going to start with the background and get those all ready to go, and I will be right back. I also want to make sure that I get the lighting good here for you guys. Well, that won't work. So hopefully that's going to be okay. For some reason, it all feels very dark to me here. So I'll revisit that once I start working. Okay, be right back. Okay, so I have my one of my sets of Panpastels, and I'm working towards getting almost all of them. There's 4 different colors of each, 4 different shades of each color, and I'm kind of going to kind of probably go for 3 of the shades of each color, the darkest, the lightest, and then one of the mid tones. So anyway, I am not necessarily going to duplicate the background here. I'm going to do something similar. I like the colors, but I think I'm just going to do kind of a mottled greens. I don't necessarily want to copy it exactly the way the background is. So I'm just going to go for it and see what happens here. Let's see. I'm wondering if I can pull out some of these that I know I'm going to use. That might be easier for me to tell you what colors I am using when that happens. Because it's a little more difficult to do that when they're in their cases. And I don't think I'm going to be using all of the colors. So let me just pull a few out here. I might use this one. That's kind of bright, but I might use that one too. Okay, and let's see, anything else that I want to pull out here? Maybe this one. What is this? Maybe. Okay, so I have Permanent Green Shade, Chromium Oxide Green, Titanium White, Bright Yellow Green Shade, and Bright Yellow Green. Telling you what colors I am using when I use these pans, it may be helpful to you, it may not be helpful to you. It's hard to say because the colors get all mixed up, they get blended, they get, they change. So for me to tell you each different color that I'm using as I put it on there, I don't think is going to do much good. But I will, if I think of it, I will do it. But honestly, I, you know, just pick some, just whatever you have, you know, just use some of the colors that you have and you should be good. I'm, right now, I'm sorry, I'm concentrating on putting new sponges on my soft tools. You know what? I think I need a dark color too. So let's do Chromium Oxide Green Extra Dark as well. And I think the bright yellow green is going to be yellowy enough. So we'll just start there and we'll see what happens. Okay. So I did draw in a lot of the lines in the background and have since decided that I did not want to use those. So, but now I'm debating whether I want any brown in there or not. Well, I'm just gonna do it, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with the Chromium Oxide Green. And that's going to be a little bit bright. The extra dark is probably a little bit better. So yeah, like I said, I think I would rather just have kind of a mottled green background. It seems to be what I like to do most. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to keep this kind of dark, this area of the background kind of dark, because this leaf is pretty bright, and I want it to, you know, have a nice contrast there. I might add some brown in at the end, I think. Let's see, do I want any, the reference photo has a few little green, well, we can decide that later, I guess. Has a few little green leaves on the very outer edge. I do have to put some dark in here somewhere to try and figure out. Oh yeah, I see. Okay, so yeah. I'm really sorry about not being able to have the photo. You know, I could maybe do this for now, since there's no, and I'll just move it around as I go a little bit. We'll try that, see what happens. So I'm trying to make sure that the background kind of overlaps the panda a little bit. So that when we go to do the panda, he is overlapping the background instead of butting up to the background. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry, this isn't gonna work for me. I just need to be able to see the whole. I'm so sorry. I didn't think this through very well when I was figuring out how I was gonna do this. All right, I want to see what this color. That's a nice. I really love these yellowy greens. They just kind of add this really wonderful pop of brightness. All right, I am not sure what is going to happen here. Let's see if I add, do I want any bright white in the background? I don't know, so we're just gonna do it and see what happens. I might hate it and wind up having to cover it up. I don't know. We'll see. And I think my camera is moving greatly and we don't want that, so I just need to slow down because, and really I should be slowing down anyway. I don't know what it is about when I'm on film, I always seem to work or want to work so much faster than I really should. That's kind of cool. I really like mixing the colors actually on the paper. It's kind of cool to be throwing colors on there and then be surprised with what you get. Okay, let's see. Let's do. I don't know if I want to introduce a different green or not. Let's see what this permanent green shade. It's kind of a bluier. Maybe that just for some smaller areas. I like the kind of painterly effects that you get from, I'm going to do some more of the extra dark over here. I like the painterly effect that you get with the Panpastels. And when you use this brush, it really does kind of feel like you're painting. Is that, I'm debating on whether that's covered well enough. I guess it is. But I feel like I want a little bit of variation there. So we'll do some of the regular chromium oxide green and kind of model that in there like it's a leaf or something. Leaves blurred out. Maybe a little pop of the bright. Okay, let's come back over. Let's keep going with the mid-tone chromium oxide green. Kind of like the dark. Let's put some of that in here. Don't push down too hard with your soft tools. You'll go through them so much faster than you need to. I know that there are artists that use pastels that like to use the makeup sponges, not the soft tools, but actual makeup sponges, and that's great. That's a great option. I personally would prefer to use these because I like the way they feel in my hand. I like the control that I get with them. So I try and make them last as long as I can. I wash them. You know, you can flip them over and use both sides. So I use them for as long as I can, but I prefer using these just because they just feel so good in my hand. And I really feel like I have good control with them. All right, let's try some of this, the really bright one, the really bright, because there are some very bright colors in the background of this, and even though my brain initially goes, oh, no, that's too bright, the photo itself is so pretty as it is, and it has some really bright, bright greeny yellows in it, so I'm just going to do it. Some more white. I just love watching them mix and blend and look like paint when they go onto the paper. I don't know why. It makes me happy. So I've been planning on doing this one for quite a while. I saw it and I saw his cute face and it was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna do that. So I have actually a frame hanging on my wall in my studio waiting. When I picked the size for this, I picked the size because I knew that I had a frame for it, and so I like to go to Goodwill and buy frames there. And then, I mean, I try and find 11 by 14 frames because those are like the closest. I mean, those are the size that I use typically. I think we're gonna have to break out some brown. But every once in a while I find like a nice big frame. Frames can be so expensive in the store, so getting them used is always nice. And you know, if you don't like the way they look, you can always paint them or whatever, but it's so much more cost effective to get them that way. Okay, let's see. I want to bring some of this really bright, or maybe white even, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, and then this over here, this leaf will be quite bright, so that'll help to balance this out. I think I like it. I was thinking about like what it would look like if I tried to make those look like sun rays. I don't know if I can pull that off or not though, so we'll see. Actually, I kind of like it. Okay, now I'm going to go in and I'm going to push all of this into the tooth of the paper. I'm going to add a little bit more white over here. I really need to go to the store and get some baby wipes. All right, I kind of like, oh no, don't do that. I kind of like the, I turned my sponge over and put the brown down on there. I can always change it if I decide that I want to. But I don't know. I can't decide. Part of me liked those lines, and then part of me is like, no, don't like. Yeah, no, don't like. Okay. All right, so we'll just. That's another fun thing about pastels, is that you can just, and this paper, is that you can just keep changing. You can change your mind. You can keep adding. If you don't like something, you can change it. And I like that about it. So I kind of want to try and give it a like those are leaves and things in the background. But I just love, I love how it looks like it's oil paint, or it's, been painted on there. I just think that's really cool. Okay, so we have to do this side over here, and I do think that I need to add some brown. So let's see what we have in the dark browns. So I'm thinking that one. What is that? Raw Umber Extra Dark. Okay, let's just go for it and see what happens. Don't need that there anymore. Okay, so that's my leaf. So it would go right here. Okay, so occasionally you will get a piece of Pastelmat that has some defects in it. I am not sure if that is the case here or not, but occasionally you'll get some that has like a line running through it. And sometimes it's right down the center of the Pastelmat. I've been very fortunate to not have run into that problem in too much extent. But it does happen, and when that happens, the advice that I have been given is to just ignore it and keep working the piece, because eventually you should be able to fill in the line with enough pastel to cover it up. So that is the advice that I am going to take when I find that in my own pieces. Right here, it looks like I might need to work some more color in there because it's got a weird line on it. Okay, and then before I go any further, on my reference photo, there's this neat little ball here that I'm assuming is like a berry or something that I did not draw in, and I believe that goes right here. So I am going to put that in there because I actually quite like it. We'll just see what happens there. But yeah, I liked that. So, okay, I'm gonna get a smaller tool. That one will work. So you can also get these fun little tiny tools. And I'm going to go ahead and I want to make sure I'm putting it in the right place, right here. And it actually maybe could be black, but I'm going to start here. We can always make it darker in the end if I feel that it needs to be darker, but yeah, I might feel like it needs to be darker. The Panpastels, as fun as they are just not quite ever as dark as they look like they would be. Okay, so there's our two darkest spots. There's our little berry. We can do that with pencil. Just do a little bit of dark right here. And I don't think I want, I mean, I like the way it looks in the reference photo, but I don't know that I could make that work for myself. So I think I'm going, decisions. I think I'm going to put the brown in the leaves more than doing it back there. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to finish this little area here. I'll start with the chromium oxide extra dark. We'll use that to kind of transition. Although in the photo, it's not really a transition. It's a pretty heavy from light to dark kind of a deal. So bright yellow green shade. And let's get that right. Yeah, I can see little indents there. You probably won't see them in just observing the picture from a distance, but you know, when you're really close up tight on it, you can see them. I'm going to tap some more color in there. It could be darker anyway. And if it really bugs me later, I'll use pencils and try and fill that in a little bit better. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. This is my leaf. This should be actually quite bright yellow. I'm going to go ahead and put some bright yellow in under here. I didn't change out my brush, so there's still a lot of dark color on there. I'm thinking I need to clean my brush, so I'm just going to rub it gently so as not to tear it. I'm going to rub it on a what are those called? Microfiber cloth, to get as much of that dark color off as possible. Because this really should be brighter, and it's a little bit too yellow. So I'm going to add some green to it. Maybe that was too much. There, that's better. Okay, all the other leaves, I mean, these aren't in front of the panda, but I do think I will do the leaves after I do the panda, because these are all in front of him. So, okay, so I'm gonna wash my hands, clean up, put the pastels away, and break out the pencils. Okay, let's do the eyes first. I do love to start with the eyes. Alrighty, so I guess I should have gotten some sharp pencils going before I started the camera again. Shame on me. Again, it's one of those things that is the only frustrating thing for me about the pastels is not being able to just stick my pencil in a pencil sharpener. I know there are, again, plenty of pastel artists who do that and are successful, but try as I might, I just cannot seem to make a pencil sharpener work for me for these. They're very soft. Pencil sharpeners work okay for the PITT pastels, because they're a very hard pastel pencil. But all the other ones either break in the sharpener or, yeah, most often they just break in the sharpener for me. I just do not have any luck with those. It's very frustrating. And I know that there's some artists that use a crank-handled sharpener. There's some crank-handled sharpeners that they say work quite well. But most of those people are in England. And there's these Swordfish, I think, but there's some other brands of crank-handled sharpeners that people say work pretty well. But I can't imagine, I can't imagine it, because I think I talked to you guys about this before on my last pastel painting. I bought these little M&R, this little M&R sharpener with these little M&R blades, which are supposed to be like super, super good, right? And they're super good the first couple times I run them through the sharpener. And then after that, it's just like, meh, like not great. I don't get a good sharp point. And the blade dulls down so quickly that it's just not worth it to me. So again, unfortunately, I'm forced to sharpen with a blade and sandpaper. So it is what it is. All right, I'm definitely going to need my divider because I can tell already that I'm going to get confused with my sketch here. All right, so the entire, let's see, we'll do it like this. So the entire darkness of the eye. Oh, that's okay. I got that right. Something about that is not right though. Okay, so this, holy moly, it always boggles my mind at how much of an optical illusion it is when I look at the reference photo. It always looks so much smaller than it really is. So, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it and we'll see what happens. I want to make sure that I'm not covering up what I'm doing for you guys. Okay, so we have the eyeball, and that actually, there's not a lot of, I want to make sure I get the white in there. So I got some Generals charcoal white, which you can actually get at Hobby Lobby, believe it or not, to try, and it is a really nice white. So if you're ever in a bind and need a white, you can just run over to Hobby Lobby and get one. I got the General's charcoal black too, and that seems to be really nice too. What am I doing? I'm looking for a dark gray, maybe seal. So this is the DERWENT seal. It's a very dark gray. It really should be sharpened. All right, let's get some brown in there. And this is the pupil. Believe it or not, it's tiny. Wow, okay. I'm not sure that that's the color that I want. I think I want something warmer. Maybe Dyke Brown. Let's try that. Let's see, we have some highlight that has to go in there too. So let's get that in there. And up here. Okay, then Dyke Brown. Okay, so let's try dark sepia, 96, dark sepia. I need to find a place for all my stuff because I'm going to start, oh yeah, I'm going to start to have pencils everywhere here as I keep going. So I have a cabinet right next to me with a drawer in it. So I got this board to fit, and if I open up the drawer, then I can sit. It's like giving myself an extra shelf, which is really nice. Right beside me, and then I have room for my pencils too. Yay! Okay, back to what we were doing. So I like the idea of doing this big piece. It's kind of cool, but it's definitely a different experience for me because I'm used to being able to have my reference photo right up on the easel right next to me. And here it's kind of beside me instead. Okay, I still can't believe that that area is all not quite. Okay, let's get this in here. I don't really have any place to push that in, so I am going to blow that away. Let's get this a little bit darker. Might be time to break out some stumps. I think I got this too high. It's shaped kind of funny. I feel, you know, when I'm doing these videos, I feel like I shouldn't be doing videos, if that makes sense. I feel like, you know, you should be watching professionals, experts, because I kind of, you know, I just, I do my best. It's kind of like watching a newbie do art. Okay, so that's shaped funny. But the beauty of pastels is that I can fix it, right? I can fix it. So, Yeah. Yep. Oh boy, is that off. Okay, so the eyeball itself, just the eyeball. How did I do that? Oh, sorry. The eyeball itself. Whew, boy, howdy, is that off. Okay, but again, the full black. Oh my God, what did I do? I don't know what I did. Okay, I gotta fix this. Let's see, I'm gonna try lifting this up a little bit. Okay. So, don't know what I did. What did I do? All right, let's start by making the eyeball bigger like it's supposed to be. I don't know how I did that. Yeah, I really don't. I don't even know if this is far enough down. Although it seems like it's better. It seems shaped a little bit better. At least it's rounder. It's times like this that I just want to turn the camera off and fix it. But I won't. Okay, this is like cold gray 4. Bring this down further. Well, it looks better already. Yeah, it looks better already. Okay, so I'm starting to sweat. It's like, ooh, pressure. All right, I'm gonna put some little lines in here. I think the problem is that it doesn't have all of the, you know, stuff around it, and so I'm getting not confused, but you know, it doesn't look like it's supposed to look yet, I think. Darker in here. There's actually no white. There's actually no white here. This is actually darker too. It's not as light as that. Yeah, I'm having to lean over. I need to find a way to raise up my iPad because it's, you know, quite a bit lower on the table than this is. And I'm finding myself all hunched over, which I don't want to be hunched over. Okay, let's see. I need a little lift. Just put that on a box or something so that it's a little bit more at eye level. That's better. Okay. I think that eye is okay for now. So let's go ahead and do the other one, and then I'll start building up. Usually I tend to do like the eyes, the nose, and then kind of work out from there. So let's try and not screw the second eye up. It is a teeny bit higher in the reference photo than it is, you know, this eye is higher, so I think I've got them in the right place. So we'll just do it. Oh, the eyeball. Yep, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and put the eyeball in. Oh, let me get the white highlights in here. I like to do them first, even though you can work light over dark. Sometimes getting them in first helps to keep them a little bit brighter. They always are never quite as light when they go on top of another color. So, ooh, I'm really bending over. I think it's because of the camera position. Kind of trying to work around that camera. Okay, let's get his. I want to get a highlight color in this one. You know, like a, not like white, but like a, just a lighter bit of color on the pupil. I don't want seal. I want my, there we go, dark sepia. Okay, we'll just start there. It still seems so strange to have that be such a thick, such a thick line. Holy moly, okay. The proportional divider does not lie. That sure is a lot of black. Okay. Let's get that white in. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And this is like barely white. It's almost gray, so it will get that to be darker soon. This side seems to be darker. I really do think getting the getting the fur around the eye is going to make a big difference. I think right now it's just looking strange to me. Just dotting some light gray and lighter gray. It's cold gray 4, but it's Okay, this eyeball needs to be darker still. So dark sepia. Almost doesn't seem dark enough. I almost feel like it needs black. And actually, there needs to be darker in here too. Just really lightly putting that black in. Let's try using one of these rubber. You guys are gonna so totally laugh at me. I'm laughing at myself. I'm really mad at myself right now. Okay, so here's the quick story. Seriously, oh my God, I recently worked on a cat in color pencil on white paper because I really wanted to try doing color pencil on white paper because I really suck at it because I don't do well with having to work in reverse and leave the whites, you know, alone. And her technique that she uses is on this cat was this embossing technique where you actually take these little embossers and make the fur and indent it into the paper. Anyway, it's this cool technique. And I'm like, I know I have embossers. I've seen them. I could not find them anywhere. So I ordered a set on Amazon so that I could do this technique. And so now I just pulled out my little sculpting tools with the little rubber tip on the end to blend. Hello, it's on the other side. Thankfully, the set that I bought was only like $6 for the set, but still, it's like, are you kidding me? Because they were face down in my cup and I didn't, yeah. Anyway, so, there you go. I feel like such a dummy now. So these are kind of cool for pressing the pastel into the paper. Because they're, I mean, they do take some of it, but it's not like a sponge where the sponge really can pull the pastel off. These work pretty well for that. Okay, I think I want to get a little bit of blue, like a super duper light blue. This is the Derwent powder blue. But any light blue will work. It's just enough blue, I think. Maybe it's not enough blue. I wanted, you know, those highlights to be bluer. I don't know. Now they look a little bit too heavy. All right, maybe we'll do the nose. I don't know. I have to think about that for a minute. All right, I am gonna go ahead and do the nose. I just have to be careful and make sure that I cover it when I'm working the rest of it. But I think I want to do the nose, so All right, so this is just a PITT black. So really, because this photo is kind of a free photo on Pixabay, it's actually not as high resolution as I would like it to be, unfortunately. So things get a little bit blurry when I blow it up to the actual size of the painting that I'm doing. So bear with me while I kind of work out where I want things to go here. Okay, so this back part here is actually quite a bit lighter than this part down here. I'm just going to start filling in here. Pretty dark nose. I want to find a way so that it doesn't just look like a black hole in the middle of the picture. Blend that in. So the shape of this is a little not right. So it's got this highlight right here. I hope you guys have downloaded the image and can see what I'm doing here. Even if you're not actually, drawing, painting, coloring, if you're not doing that along with me, it helps to be able to see why I'm doing the things that I'm doing. Okay, and then this Okay, now I'm going to switch to Seal, if I still have that out. I do. This is the Derwent. But you know what? I think we need some blue. So, that Derwent is too gray of a... It's too gray. Let's try... This might be too purple. We'll see. This is Payne's gray in the CARBOTHELLO. I think we'll do that, and I think we'll use blue instead of white for our highlights. At least in the center. I can always add some more gray. It's funny how this is called Payne's Gray and it's so purple. To me, it's very purple. Blue, purple. Yeah. Okay, so I want a little bit more true blue. But maybe we go with a cold gray 3. It might be too light. Okay, cold gray 3 I think still might be too light. Although not for back here necessarily. Let's try it for back here. Whew, boy, it's really cool. That's very blue. All right, this is mouse gray. That's a little less blue. I've got a line there from my outline that I don't necessarily want. It might go away once I put this other stuff on though, so rub that in. Sometimes it's better to just rub your dust in as opposed to blowing it away. Is this the light one? It might be too light. Oh, I still need to go darker. Bear with me. Let's see, this is PITT Cold Gray 4. Is it any darker? Nope. All right, I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding dark cold grays here in my set. I know I have them. For some reason, it's just not, I don't know, I'm not seeing them. Okay, this is graphite gray. But see, I don't like that either. All right, we may just do black. I want it, I'm gonna add some black, just very lightly, not heavy, real light. And then I'll start doing some blending here. Okay, so now we need this to be very dark. Actually, I probably want to use my, I think my, right now the CARBOTHELLO Bone Black is about the blackest black that I have. And then we want to come, I'm debating on whether to just make circles here. I'm not sure. I think I'll wind up blending that all away, so that's probably not. Just gotta keep working it until it looks right. This is all a lot darker. Probably don't need bone black for that though. Back to the PITT. I think we'll add I wanted to get the front of the nose pretty dark. These can all be blended in. They don't have to be dark. I mean, light. We want those to be soft. This is too much. That should just be right there. Okay, let's try. I might go back with that other blue that I had. What was that anyway? And where is it? I've got pencils all over the place. I need to break out my box. I have a little, like a, oh, what are those? Lids. A lid. From a craft box. You know, they look like shoe boxes that you get at the craft store. And that works really nicely for keeping all my pencils in one place, and because it really stinks when you drop pencils. Okay, this is Ultramarine Light CARBOTHELLO. Maybe we'll switch. We'll do some blue and some white. I like the blue though, because it's kind of more interesting, and it makes it look more real somehow. Okay, so this is not right. This is definitely not right here. So black comes around. This is still too much highlight. Okay, it's still not dark enough down in here. I know I got off track there with the with what I was doing. Bear with me. Okay, that's a little bit better. Okay, back to the blue. This is not dark enough. Man. Okay. But I think the Payne's gray, there's plenty of that on there. That was, should we try lamp black? I don't know, lamp black, if I remember right, is kind of greeny. I don't want that. Payne's gray 105. Okay, the PITT Payne's gray is not nearly as purple. So let's try that. And you know what? I'm kind of feeling like, here's the thing. That's why this nose doesn't look right. So I drew the nose, and it was correct in this initial drawing, but the nose is going all the way up and down. And in actuality, right here is the tip of the nose, the top of the nose, and this back here is going back on top of the slope of the nose and isn't actually part of the actual top of the nose. I'm pretty sure that that is correct. So I think I will start by seeing if I can erase just that line. I shouldn't have drawn that in black. And even though I'll probably be able to cover it up, in fact, it's driving me crazy now. I just want to I'm just going to do this, which is pointless because I have to go over this with another color, but it's I need to do it for my own for my eye to be able to kind of grasp what I'm doing here. So bear with me. Okay, so the top of the nose is actually, now how do I differentiate that? I don't know. Because it almost looks like the same color in the reference photo, and yet you can still tell that the top of the nose is actually there, and that this is all I don't know. It's darker. I'll get it if I just keep trying. Eventually I'll get it. I'm gonna turn that somehow. Okay, more white on top of here. We're getting there. Every time I kind of step back, you know, pull back away from what I'm doing so I can see it from a little bit further away. Oh, it looks better. Okay, this still. So when I do that, I'm just kind of pressing it down into the tooth so it's not sitting right on top. Okay, so I think in the reference photo, there's a little bit of light. highlights under here are still too bright. I think back to the darkest black, this bone black. We're still not there yet. Sorry, we're still not there. So I need some, I don't know if help is the right word. Some of you have been awesome about leaving comments and letting me know, you know, that you like what I'm doing, and that I should keep going. But I need to know if the new format is something that I should keep up with, because the views have definitely dropped on the channel since I stopped doing coloring pages. And I get it. I did change things up on you guys, and so I just don't want to continue to do this if nobody's watching. I know some of you are watching, and some of you have been awesome in leaving me comments, and I really appreciate that. So if you could do me a favor, if you are a long time viewer, I guess I'll say, of my channel, if you're still watching, even though the format has changed, could you let me know? Because I'm just kind of at a crossroads of not knowing if I should keep doing this or not. Well, that's a little bit better. I think I needed to go a little bit thicker there. Okay, we're getting there, I think. Anyway, if you've been viewing my channel for a while when I was doing the coloring pages, and you're still enjoying it now, would you leave me a comment and let me know that? And if you are a new watcher and you want to continue watching me make videos like this, could you leave me a comment as well? I can't know without feedback, and it's hard to tell by the viewers because they're just not there. They're not showing as, you know, I'm just not getting the viewership. And it's not about the, it's not about the monetization. It's just about, honestly, time. Because I don't want to just keep doing these and for no reason. So anyway, if you guys would be so kind as to share that with me, I would greatly appreciate it. Boy, putting the white around there really made a difference, I think. I mean, it made it feel like it's looking more like a nose now. And this really isn't going to be white, so I should probably stop with that, but that made a difference to me. And actually this looks pretty good too. So I need to plug my camera in because I just got a low battery notification because I forgot to plug it in before I started filming. So I'm going to check the time and see where we're at, and then I will come back and I will either say goodbye for now or we'll keep going. Yep, okay, so we're at almost an hour and a half, so I think this is a good place to stop. I feel really good about that nose right now. I'm happy. The eyes are good. We might work on those a little bit more as it progresses, but then I think on the next video we'll go ahead and start working on the fur, and that'll be good. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope I did not sound whiny. I did not mean to sound whiny at all. I love doing this. It's just nice. It's hard when you change formats and the, you know, the people that were watching aren't watching anymore, and that's okay. I totally understand. I'm just curious to know if you guys are liking what I do, if you want to see them continuing in real time, because I know that it's a lot of long videos to get through, and it seems like the videos that are you know, short and snappy and quick seem to get more hits, but that's not kind of who I am. So I'm trying to be true to myself and true to you guys, give you what you want. But anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, so that's it for this video. Drop me a comment if you like what I do, if you want me to keep doing what I'm doing, or if you have any suggestions or changes, let me know those too. And until I see you on the next video, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Bye.